For years, fans of Cassi Davis have laughed with her, cried with her, and admired her as the heart of Tyler Perry's beloved Madea franchise. Whether she was playing the sharp-tongued Aunt Bam or appearing in countless stage plays and sitcoms, Cassi brought a kind of joy that felt larger than life. But behind the comedy, behind the infectious laugh, and behind the unforgettable performances, there has always been something more, something that fans whispered about, speculated over, and wondered if they'd ever hear confirmed. And now, at 59 years old, Cassi Davis has finally admitted what so many long suspected. It isn't scandalous, it isn't shocking in a Hollywood way, it's deeply human. It's about truth, resilience, and the courage to finally open up to the world. Before we get to her admission, we have to go back to the beginning. Born in Holly Springs, Mississippi, Cassi Davis grew up in a place where faith, family, and community meant everything. From an early age, she was drawn to music and performance. But unlike many Hollywood stories, Cassi's path wasn't straight to the spotlight. She worked tirelessly, her career building slowly through gospel singing, stage work, and eventually film and television. Her big break came when Tyler Perry spotted her talent and gave her a platform in his productions. From there, she became a household name, someone audiences trusted to bring both laughter and heart. Fans loved her honesty, her authenticity, and the way she seemed so real compared to the artificial glamour of Hollywood. But even as her career soared, fans couldn't help but notice something about Cassi. Over the years, rumors swirled. Was she hiding a personal struggle? Was there something she wasn't ready to share? For years, audiences adored Cassi Davis, not just for her comedic timing, but for her spirit. She had a way of lighting up a room, stealing scenes, and making viewers feel like she was part of their own family. Yet behind the laughter, people began to notice small things, moments that sparked quiet conversations among fans. Sometimes she appeared to move a little differently, sometimes her energy seemed weighed down, and sometimes her silence in interviews felt like it was covering something more. Whispers grew, but Cassi never rushed to address them. She wasn't the type to feed the gossip mills of Hollywood. She kept her personal life guarded, focusing instead on her craft and her faith. Still, fans felt there was something unsaid. They admired her strength, but they also sensed her struggle. And as the years passed, those suspicions became part of her story, an unspoken truth hovering in the background. The truth, as Cassi has now admitted, is that she has been quietly living with a health condition. For her, it wasn't about shame or secrecy, it was about dignity. She didn't want to be defined by an illness or by speculation. She wanted to be known for her talent, her love of people, and the joy she brought to millions. And so, while others wondered, she carried on with a smile, pushing through pain that the world never fully saw. When she finally spoke out, Cassi explained that it wasn't just about the illness itself, it was about the way it had shaped her life. The struggles, the adjustments, and the quiet battles no one else knew about. Fans had long suspected she was dealing with something personal, and now, at 59, she had the courage to confirm it, not for sympathy, but for truth. Her admission was emotional, not because it shocked anyone, but because it confirmed what her fans already knew in their hearts. Cassi Davis is human. She is strong, but she is not unbreakable. She is joyful, but she has endured hardships. And most importantly, she chose to face it all with grace, humor, and faith. It takes courage for any public figure to peel back the curtain and reveal the reality of their life. For Cassi, it meant acknowledging what many had long suspected, that behind Aunt Bam's loud personality and behind the actress's infectious laughter was a woman who had been carrying her own burdens. But instead of letting those burdens define her, she turned them into resilience, and that is what makes her story so powerful. Fans didn't love her just because she was funny. They loved her because she was real. And in finally admitting her truth, Cassi showed the world that being vulnerable is not weakness, it is strength. When Cassi Davis finally spoke openly about her struggles, her words were raw, heartfelt, and deeply human. She admitted that for years she carried the weight of her condition silently, not because she was afraid, but because she wanted her story to be about more than just illness. She wanted to inspire people, not invite pity. But at 59, she realized that sharing her truth could be just as powerful as hiding it. In her own words, she explained that life had been a series of tests, but every single challenge reminded her of her faith and her purpose. "I didn't want people to see me as broken," she said. "I wanted them to see me as blessed." And that was the essence of her admission. It wasn't about weakness. It was about strength, resilience, and a belief that joy could still exist even in the middle of hardship. For many fans, this honesty was both heartbreaking and inspiring. It reminded them that the woman who had made them laugh for decades was also someone who had cried behind closed doors. But Cassi didn't stop at admitting her struggle. She reflected on what it had taught her. She shared how pain had humbled her, how it deepened her gratitude, and how it forced her to appreciate the small victories of everyday life. She also revealed something fans had long wondered, that her decision to keep working, to keep smiling on screen, wasn't because she ignored her reality. It was because acting gave her strength. "Every time I stepped into a character," she admitted, "I felt like I could be free, even if just for a moment." Her performances weren't just comedy, they were therapy, both for her and for the millions who watched. Looking back, Cassi said she has no regrets. Yes, there were days she wished things were different, days when the pain felt too heavy, but she believes every moment was part of her journey. "I've lived with laughter, I've lived with love, and I've lived with faith. That's what matters," she reflected. Her legacy, she hopes, will not be about illness at all, but about courage, about choosing joy in the middle of struggle, about proving that even when life throws unexpected challenges, you can still live with purpose. And perhaps most beautifully, about reminding her fans that vulnerability is not a flaw, but a bridge that connects us all. At 59, Cassi Davis has finally admitted what so many suspected, but she has also rewritten the story. It's not about hiding pain, it's about embracing truth. It's not about fear, it's about faith. And in sharing this part of herself, she has only deepened the bond with her audience. Because now, more than ever, her fans don't just see her as Aunt Bam or a talented actress. They see her as a woman who lived authentically, bravely, and with an unshakable spirit. And that is the story Cassi Davis leaves us with. That laughter and pain can exist side by side. That joy is a choice, and that even when life tries to silence you, there is power in speaking your truth. And so, at 59, Cassi Davis has given us something far greater than entertainment. She has given us truth. For years, she stood under the spotlight, making us laugh until our sides ached, lifting spirits with every performance, and reminding us that joy is one of life's greatest treasures. But behind that radiant smile was a woman carrying battles most of us never knew existed. And now, with courage and grace, she has pulled back the curtain, letting us see the woman behind the laughter. Her admission is not just a confession, it's a testament. A testament to resilience, to faith, to the power of living with honesty in a world that often demands perfection. Cassi Davis has shown us that vulnerability is not weakness. It is strength. It is the courage to be real when others expect you to pretend. It is the bravery to tell the world, "Yes, I struggle, but I still stand. Yes, I hurt, but I still smile. Yes, I fall, but I rise again." And that is why her story matters. Because Cassi Davis is not just a star on a stage. She is a reflection of all of us. Each one of us knows pain. Each one of us carries battles that others may never see. And yet, like Cassi, we also carry within us the power to overcome, to endure, to inspire. Her voice reminds us that life is not measured by the challenges we face, but by the strength we show in facing them. So as we remember her words, let us carry with us the lessons she has shared. That laughter is healing. That love is eternal. That faith can carry us through storms. And most of all, that the truth, no matter how heavy, sets us free. Cassi Davis may have finally admitted what many long suspected, but in doing so, she has given us all a gift of honesty, a gift of courage, a gift of hope. And that gift will live on, not just in her performances, not just in her characters, but in the lives of every person she has touched with her story. Because in the end, Cassi Davis has proven one thing. True strength is not in hiding who you are. It's in standing proudly in the light of your truth.